Hi. Today I want to talk about two things that really don't have much to do with my work as a lawyer, but they have to do with events that have taken place in the last few days and are still in progress that we should all be concerned about. One of which is the vote by the Federal Communications Commission to end net neutrality, which means that the internet will no longer be free. It will be controlled by the mega corporations that we call the telecommunications industry, such as Verizon. I do a lot of business with Verizon, but I don't want them to control the internet. The commission, the Federal Communications Commission, is made up of 5 members, the chairman of which was appointed by President Obama to be a member of the commission and was elevated to the position of chair or chairperson or chairman by President Trump. His last name is Pai, P-A-I. He led the vote, a 3-2 vote, to end net neutrality. However, it's being presented as something else to us. And I want to read you a letter because this man, this Mr. Pai, did not act in a vacuum. He had a letter signed by over 100 of our representatives. And it's on the internet. You can find it. It's a letter directed to him. It's really easy to find. You can actually look at it in your PDF viewer and see their signatures. And they wrote to him and said, "We write today in support of the Federal Communications Commission's plan to restore internet freedom by reversing the prior commission's decision to regulate broadband internet service under Title II and so on. This proposal is a major step forward in the efforts to clear the way for the substantial investment necessary to advance our internet architecture for the next generation and close the digital divide." Well, you know what that is? That's a lie. These folks, these 100, I think it's 101 of them, who signed this, our so-called representatives, signed a lie, a document whose first couple of sentences are out and out lies. This wasn't to restore internet freedom. It was destroying internet freedom, ending internet freedom so that the telecommunications giants can charge you for wherever you go. They can prevent you from going places that they don't have business relationships with. They could block my website. They could block you from Facebook unless you were willing to pay a fee. They can end up controlling everywhere we go. And will. Guaranteed they will, because they want more. They always want more. They also talked about what we would get out of this. When its effects are fully realized, more Americans than ever will experience the benefits of telemedicine, distance learning, streaming video, and future innovations made possible by broadband. Well, how many of us have been real worried about telemedicine or video streaming? This is more just rubbish that they're feeding to us, but here's the kicker. Additionally, we note under your leadership, we're talking to Chairman Pai, the FCC and the American people have enjoyed an unprecedented level of transparency as you work toward this goal. And then they said the record is exhaustive. Every viewpoint is well represented, and the time has come for the commission to act. Transparency means you can see through things, right? Well, there was no transparency here. Another lie. It's called propaganda. And that's what we're being fed. And I'm hoping that by my message today that we'll all start thinking about it a little more, because internet freedom is at stake. May I urge you to contact your representatives? I wrote to my senators in California. They are Senator Feinstein and Senator Harris. And I'm expecting a reply. I wrote last week. Let's see what happens. Because they do work for us, right? We do pay their salaries out of our taxes. So this idea of propaganda, though, I think is something that we should all think about, because during World War II, the Nazi regime, headed by Adolf Hitler, had their own propaganda minister. He was a guy named Joseph Goebbels, who was responsible for steering hatred toward the Jews, because he said what you have to do, and I think his exact words were, propaganda must facilitate the displacement of aggression by specifying the targets for hatred. We've got some of that going on here in America. But he also said that a lie told once is still a lie, but if told 1,000 times becomes the truth. We should think about these things because this is what they're doing to us. You know what else he said? He said the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. Well, they're not telling us the truth about what they're doing. Over 100 of them signed a letter indicating that these are the things that you're doing for us. So it was available to us, the public. Still is. And it's full of lies. That is not what they're doing. They're not doing that for us. That is not to benefit us. It's to benefit corporate America, if it's even corporate America. I think they're more like corporate international. They have no allegiance to us. So what we have next is we have this tax bill that's getting pushed, and I think you're going to do another vote on it. Although somewhere along the way they voted, and it was like 51 to 48, and then they made some more changes, so they have to vote on it again. And I heard the president on video saying that, oh, it was going to be wonderful for us, we the people, that we were going to get some kind of tax breaks and we were going to get some kind of benefits from it. And the truth of the matter is that the big corporations are going to get their tax rate reduced. I'm not sure they ever pay any anyway. That the very wealthy are going to get tremendous tax breaks. The president talked about us maybe getting somehow like $4,000 worth of savings. And that was how we were going to stimulate the economy if we got an extra $4,000 a year from our tax returns, which probably would pay for the increased costs of living. It's not going to stimulate the economy. We know that. But we know from what we've heard that this tax bill really doesn't benefit us. And we know it for another reason, too, and it's because they've never made it public. We've never been able to see it. We have not heard any discussion about it. I heard a couple of Democratic senators, because this is a Republican bill, saying that, oh, they were given this stack and they showed this ream of paper they said was over 500 pages, and that they were only being given a couple hours to read it and then vote on it. And so that was their big complaint. Yet they did. They still voted on it. A couple hours later, they voted on a 500 or more page tax bill that's supposed to change things for the next decade to come, including another $1 trillion in deficit. So they're not really working for us, are they? No, they're working for them. It's about rich people making more and paying less. They're the ones getting the big benefits. For example, no more estate tax. Well, golly, did that really benefit you everyday folks? Me? No. Didn't benefit me a bit, but it would them. It would save them millions and millions of dollars. So it wasn't for us. None of this is for us. And if it was, why wouldn't it be open? Why were they rushing? Why this push to get it done? In fact, the president said, we need that. We need that bill. We need it. Well, one of the Republicans, Lindsey Graham, said the reason they needed to push it through was because if they didn't, they'd lose their donations. The big corporations today can give as much as they want, meaning they can buy our politicians, and it's obvious that they have, because the Supreme Court said that that was freedom of speech, and that for that purpose, corporations were individuals or people. They were persons, never had been before. Corporate entities were not people, but now they are for First Amendment purposes, according to our Supreme Court. Do you see where all this is going? That's why I'm concerned. I'm concerned because we're not paying attention to it. We're too busy fighting each other over, oh, is our president the good guy, or is the last one the bad guy, or who's the good guy in all of this? And I say there aren't any. There's this huge list of people who have received donations from the telecommunications industry. There are 4 at the top of it. 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. John McCain got the most, over $2 million. What's the other fellow's name? I had it on. It doesn't matter. It's Democrats and Republicans both taking tremendous amounts of money from the telecommunications industry. Some over $1 million. Some, like John McCain, over $2 million. And one guy, $15. But he still took it. But a string of people. My senator, Dianne Feinstein, got about $500,000, according to internet sources. Sadly, Bernie Sanders apparently took almost $300,000 since 1984 or so. That one really bothered me, but hey, they're all politicians. And they have our lives in their hands. They're indebting us further another $1 trillion, which, try counting a trillion, okay? It's 1,000 billion, and a billion's 1,000 million. And most of us can't even grasp that because we're not in that class. And to have that kind of money, you had to cheat a lot of people to get there, didn't you? Because it doesn't just come, okay? A lot of people had to get hurt for you to be a billionaire. Doesn't happen otherwise. A lot of wars had to be started for people to become billionaires. A lot of oil had to be stolen for people to become billionaires. None of that's for us. Now, I believed not too long ago that we were just this side of too late. But maybe we're not. Maybe it's too late. And I'll tell you how we'll know for sure if it's too late, is if we don't do anything about what they're doing. If we don't stop this theft of our internet freedom. If we don't stop this theft of our treasury by this tax bill. You know, a guy named Paul Ryan, another senator, he's been itching to say it. And once they thought they had that tax bill passed, you know what he said he was coming after next? Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. I know about Social Security because I've been paying for it all of my adult life. And I've worked since I was 15 and started paying Social Security when I was 16. So it's been a lot of years. And I'm on Social Security, or I collect Social Security now. And they want to take that from me or cut it. And I must have Medicare because I'm over 65. I must. I don't have any choice. Now these people that we pay for, our congressmen and our senators, have the best health care. They have a retirement program, neither of which we ever agreed to. We never had that word given to us, but they have it. But they're always wanting to take it from us. Why is it we allow this? What is wrong with us? Are we really that weak that we don't see it and they allow us to fight over the scraps from Longshank's table? Because that's what we're doing. We're fighting over who's the good guy. And there is no good guy in this because none of them are speaking for us. And if you think they are, is it because you're scared and you think if you praise them that they'll remember you and treat you well? My friend Jerry Spence says we're slaves. And I agree, we are. We're slaves, and especially if we don't stand up now, because they're going to take internet freedom. They're going to take our future with this so-called tax bill. They're going to make us pay more and give less and less and less until we have little or nothing. So it's up to us. We'll find out what we're made of. Contact your representatives and see if they'll respond to you. And if they don't, that ought to tell you everything. So Senator Feinstein, Senator Harris, I'm waiting to hear from you. And if you don't respond to me, that means you don't care about me and you don't care about we, the people. We probably ought to be in the streets right now. I'm a little old to run around the streets, and I'm not going to be the one that's going to change the world or live with it. So young people, like my generation did, hit the streets. Get out there. Make noise. Don't let them do this to us again. Because if they get away with it, they've got almost everything, and they still want more. And we're paying them to do it. Thank you.